Hello everyone, welcome to Card Design Thursday. Today is Christmas week, so I'm going to be making a simple Christmas card. Now I've had quite a lot of new subscribers lately, and so welcome to everyone who has joined my channel, and welcome to those who have been here with me for a long time. I so appreciate all of your support. But a couple of new subscribers have asked me, they said they were new crafters and they wanted to learn to make cards, but they didn't have a lot of materials and stuff to make cards with. And so I decided to do a simple card that you can make with just 3 pieces of paper, a napkin, and then if you want to add a little charm or something on it, you can. So all you think you're going to need is glue. And matter of fact, I'm using a glue stick. I am going to use a little bit of tacky glue to glue my little charm on. I'm going to use a stamp that says Season's Greetings from the stamp set from May called All Occasions. Sorry, I don't store mine in the packages, so it's kind of hard to see. And you're just going to need some scissors, maybe to trim things up. I'm just using kitchen shears. So you don't really have to have a lot of fancy things. You don't have to do the extra embellishments that I'm doing to make a cute little card. So let's get started. Let me move some of this out of the way and we'll get started. One thing I would suggest if you're a new crafter and you're wanting to make cards or do any kind of paper crafting is to get you a trimmer. Now, I absolutely adore my Cricut trimmer. You don't have to have a Cricut machine to get a Cricut trimmer. You can go to Cricut.com, and they always have these trimmers on sale. I think I wound up paying like $6 for this one, but it's such a great trimmer, and the blades in there are fantastic, and I have only changed the blade on this in over a year once. So, and if you want a discount, you can go to Cricut.com, get your trimmer. You can order extra blades or whatever you need for that, and you can use the code MayMayMadeIt, and you will get 20% off plus free shipping. So it's a great deal, and that's how I got my trimmer. Okay, so I'm not being sponsored by anybody, but I just want to tell you, this is my favorite trimmer ever. I like it better than any one that I've ever had. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a piece of craft cardstock. And this is, I got this from Michael's. It was 110-pound craft paper. And I don't know, I bought it a long time ago because I haven't shopped at Michael's since last year. So, but all we're going to do is we're going to make this card 5.5 by 5.5. And the reason is because my napkin is just an edge over 5 inches square. And so I want to do some layering with this. So all I'm going to do is open up my trimmer, and we're going to turn it this way because this is an 8.5 by 11. That's another reason I did it, because it was simple. So only thing I'm going to have to cut, I'm going to fold it this way. So I already know that it's going to fold at 5.5 inches because that's half of 11. So I'm just going to turn it this way on the 8-inch side, and I'm going to put it at 5.5 on my trimmer, which 5.5 is the large line between 5 and 6. And if you're new, you know, you might need to know this. For the seasoned crafters, I know you guys already know. So we're just going to cut that by 5.5. Now, if you don't have a scoreboard, you don't have to have a scoreboard. I'm going to put this at 5.5, and it should be right in the middle. I'm going to take my little tool here and just go down the middle like this and score it on my trimmer. Now, if you don't have that, you don't need all that either. You just can fold the card in half and crease it down so that you have a 5.5 by 5.5 card. Then I'm going to cut some mats. Okay, so I know that my base is 5.5, and so I'm going to use this blue cardstock as the first mat. And so I'm not going to cut it 5.5. I'm going to cut it at 5 3/8. Now 3/8 is, let's see if I can show it to you. I don't know if it'll show up good or not, or things, but 3/8 is this little tiny line right before the 5. It's the, you have a 16th and a 16th, and then you have a 3/8 right here. So it's the longest line right before the 5. So I'm going to cut this 5 3/8. No, I'm not. I told you wrong. This is 5 1/2. I'm going to cut this 5. This is 5 3/8 right here. Yes, I did tell you right. Never mind. Please don't pay any attention to my rambling. It's been a long day. Okay, so I'm going to cut this by 5 3/8, and then I'm going to turn my trimmer, and I'm going to put it back at 5 3/8 and square this off. So you'll just have a little piece of scrap this way. Now, while we're still trimming 5 3/8, we're going to put this back in our trimmer, and we're going to do 5 3/8 again. And this side should already be 5 3/8 because you've already cut it. Well, oh wait, no, you need to trim just a little bit off. And the reason why we did this is because we're going to mat the inside of our card as well. So you're going to need a piece of paper for that. So basically you're going to need 2 pieces of the blue cardstock that I'm using, or whatever cardstock you have, at 5 3/8. Then I need to cut a piece of white that I'm going to be mounting my napkin on. And I cut the last piece at 5 3/8. So this one is going to be cut at 5 1/4. And 5 1/4 is the first longest line from 5. It's right here. Let's see if you can see that. Right here. Okay? So we're going to cut that 5 1/4. Just make sure that your paper's lined up. And then we're going to do 5 1/4. So it's real easy. The mats are square, which means it's the same size all the way around. And that should fit right in there, like that. Yes. So it's 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. So you should just have like a tiny bit of blue showing. Now, if you want a more blue border showing, you can also cut it just a little bit shy. You can do 5 1/8. So you need 2 of these. So this is going to go on the inside. And then we need to cut another one 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay. So that is that mat. And you see, you can just see the hint of blue around the edge of it. And that's all we're going to use our trimmer for. Now, this might seem like it's hard, but it is really not. I love using napkins, and before I would Mod Podge my napkins on there, and it would become a great big huge mess. Because you know, you're trying to smooth out the napkins and whatever. I learned this trick from Tracy Phillips, who is Gift Basket Appeal, a long time ago. And what I'm doing is just, I'm trying to cut as straight as I can. I've learned that you cannot cut a napkin on your trimmer. You'll make a mess. And then you'll have more napkins left over. So you can just like do a set of cards, 4 cards or whatever. I'm going to try to straighten this out a little bit. It's always best to cut your napkins first and then separate them. Now, what do I mean by separating? I mean that the napkins are either 1 or 2 ply, and I bought these napkins from Tuesday morning, I don't know, maybe last year or a couple of years ago, and they are triple ply napkins. So what that means is they have the printed image, and then they have 2 other layers. So you need to pull these layers off before you put your napkin on your card. If you don't, your napkin's going to come apart on you. Your card will come apart because the napkin will lift once you get it glued down. So that is one layer, and you still can see there's a white layer on the back. So you're going to peel another layer off if you can. Sometimes it's better to wet your finger a little bit, and then you can grab it and peel it off. See, there's your other layer. And then you're left with the single layer. Now this is going to go in the middle of your card like this. Okay, and we're going to put this down. Now, I am going to be using a glue stick to put this down. And it may seem like, I don't know, where am I going to put this? How do I know where to put the glue? Well, you know, on this one, there's about a 1/4 of an inch, not a 1/4 of an inch, an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around it. So, if you need to, you can get a pencil and just take a little tick mark on each corner to let you know where to put the glue. I'm just eyeballing it because that's just the way I flow. I just eyeball it. But if you want to be more precise, that is what you can do. Okay, so I'm just going to go over what I seem to be about a 1/8 of an inch border here. And when I use glue stick, I'm using this right here. It's the Goes on Purple Dries Clear Elmer's glue. And the reason why I'm using the purple glue stick is because I can see that where the glue is being. And you want to put glue everywhere that your napkin is going to stick. It needs to be really on there. And I want to make sure that everything is lined up. If I get a little glue on a little bit farther off, it's not a big deal. It dries clear, and I can just take a little bit of my embossing bag and go over it and make sure it's not sticky. But I really haven't had that problem. Okay, so now this is what we're going to do. Do not stress about this. It is not difficult. I'm just going to start at the top of my card about an 1/8 of an inch down. And I'm trying my best to line it up. But if I don't, I'm not going to stress about that either. Y'all, card making and crafting is supposed to be fun. And if you're stressing about every little detail, it kind of takes the fun out of it. Now, I am going to flip this over. And I'm going to rub it from the back side. Because I cannot rub that napkin. It will tear on me. So I'm just rubbing it really good on the back side. Then I'm going to pick this up. And you can see, there's my napkin. It's all stuck. And I didn't get that on there perfect. And you know what? I'm okay. The bottom of it has white. Can't really tell. This purple glue will dry clear. And I'm not stressing. If you feel like you need to make your border the same thing, put it back in the trimmer and just trim a little strip of it off. But I'm not going to stress over it. Okay, so that is that. Then we're going to take our blue card. And we're going to glue this on top of it here. This is our mat. And I'm just going to use a little bit of wet glue. You can use your glue stick. It will stick. The first one I made, I used a glue stick. But I'm almost out of my purple glue, and I use it exclusively for my napkin cards. Okay, so then I'm just going to eyeball this and try to get it in the center. And just lay it down. I'm going to turn this over and do it again from the back side because I don't want to put too much pressure on my napkins. Now, if you want to, you can go over and seal this with some Mod Podge or whatever. I don't feel like it's necessary. I've never had one to tear on me or anything, knock on wood. And I embellish over these anyway. So, but the glue, like I said, the glue will dry underneath clear, so you won't see the purple glue. And then before we put that on our card, I'm going to glue in the base of our card on the inside. I'd rather use my art glitter glue, but I need to put some more glue in my bottle. I bought a big refill of art glitter glue, and because, you know, they don't ship it when it's cold outside. So, there we go. And then I'm going to take our white panel, and I'm going to stamp the Season's Greetings from the stamp set that I showed you. All Occasions from May May Made It. I'm just going to stamp this in the middle. Let it sit there for a minute so the ink soaks in a little bit. And this is what I recommend for black ink. There's two of them. This is Momentum ink, and it's Tuxedo Black. And I use this all the time, and I use my Versified ink in black, except I have it somewhere that I don't know where it is right now. But those are the two inks that I started off with. So, then, give this a couple seconds to dry. I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. And if you notice, I don't go all the way to the edge with my glue, because when I stick it down, it'll spread out, and that way it won't gush out. Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and line it up in the middle like this. And if you use wet glue, it gives you a little wiggle room time to get things even. Okay, that's the inside of our card. Now we're going to take the top part of our card, and we're just going to put a little glue on the back of it and glue it onto our cover. And we're just going to eyeball it and put it in the center. I mean, you know, line it up as best we can. Okay, and that's our basic card. And I just think that's really cute. Now, for me, if you know me and if you've seen me anytime, you know I'm all about my sparkles and bling and that kind of stuff. So all I'm going to do is take a Wink of Stella pen, and I'm just going to highlight some of the areas, like a little bit of glitter on the snow part on the tree, just to give it some highlight. And the middle of the tires, and maybe the windshield. Y'all, I'm really into my bling. If you know me for any time, you know that's true. I love blinging. But this card couldn't be any simpler, as you can see. Okay, Donna, stop with the heart glitter. Stop with the thing. I'll just keep sparkling and sparkling. Excuse me. Now, all we're going to do, and I thought I already had one cut. I do. Here it is. All we're going to do now is take this little Christmas tree charm, and I got these charms from Created Home with G, and I bought a bunch of them when they were on sale. I mean, I got huge amounts. I also use these to make jewelry with at Christmas time and stuff. They're wonderful little charms, and they're so inexpensive. So if you're looking for some good quality charms, head over to Gareth's store, createdhomeofg.com, and you can find some wonderful little charms. So all I did was just tie a little knot And then I'm just going to make a little bow. And this is just some baker's twine from the Dollar Tree. And I'm not going to leave my bow that long. That's all I'm doing is just keep pulling and tightening up. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim off some of this. Whoops. Okay. And then all I'm doing, hopefully, is putting a tiny little drop of glue right there. And I'm just going to stick my middle of my bow right there in that dot of glue. And just hold it there for a second. And there's your card. And I just think that is so cute and simple. Here's one that I made earlier. And so I love these. I'm going to make a whole set of these because I have so many napkins. These came like 40 paper napkins, and you can get 4 cards out of each napkin because it's a full napkin, which means it's printed on 4 blocks. So I can still get 2 more cards out of this napkin. So I thought maybe I would make a whole set of these cards. And so there you go. So for my ladies who asked me to do a simple card for you, it doesn't take much things. You for 2 pieces of cardstock, 3 pieces, because you got your base card, your first mat, and your second mat, and your napkin. That's all you need, and some glue. And honestly, if you have nothing but a glue stick, you can definitely use a glue stick. You don't have to put charms on it or the Wink of Stella on there. And even if you don't have stamps and ink yet, you can write Merry Christmas or Season's Greetings on the inside with a nice ballpoint pen or, you know, a fine tip pen on there. So it's totally easy to make these cards. So if you have any questions, please leave them below in the comment boxes. And if you would like a couple of these napkins, let me know. I'll be glad to send some of them out. I'm going to send probably about half of them out because I don't need all that. So if you'd like to have one of these and give it a try, I'll be glad to set you up with a little kit to make this Christmas card. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please do so by clicking that little subscribe button up there. And don't forget to tap the bell so you can be notified each and every time I upload. Thank you all who are seasoned crafters for being patient with this card. But I think it's important every once in a while to go back and remember we do have new crafters that join us each and every day. And I want to make sure that everybody knows that they can make a card as easy as 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Don't forget to tune in at 7 p.m. tonight for Thursday Night Live. I'll be doing a spread in my Bloom Junk Journal signature. All right. God bless. Bye-bye.